Good morning, y'all. I'm going to start at the house as I walk out this morning because I want to show you everything. You know, everything's not always a success. Everything's not always beautiful. And I want to document this so I can look back next year and remember some things. You know, there's my little herb garden next to the steps going in, and my geranium that, goodness, it's been in there months. I have fertilized it and deadheaded it and on, and it's pitiful. So maybe I can't grow geraniums. But here are my pots, which are doing pretty good. There's the garden out there, and I thought that I would just show you. I've got little lights. I love these. If it was night, you could see these are solar, and they are so wonderful. They're little sparkles in the garden at night, so they're really pretty. Some of them never even worked, but oh well. So much as things that you buy from Amazon, made in China stuff. Some work and some don't. So there is oak leaf hydrangea that I rooted in a fig tree in a tiny little pot that really would be happier if it was in the ground. And over there, I'm not going over there because it's pitiful. There is the tomatoes in the straw bales. We had an enormous amount of tomatoes, and they all got ripe at one time, and then the straw bales just kind of collapsed this year. We've had a whole lot of rain at the beginning, and it's just been a weird year. And this right here, this is going to get mowed down. That's weeds. Y'all, I just haven't been 100% this year, and the weeds have completely taken over. So I have some work to do. As soon as it gets cool, we get some rain, so it softens the dirt. And right here, this is a daylily bed. And I know that I'm in trouble when Brian walks out here, and we walk usually every night and look around. And when he walks out, he says, "Whoa, what's happened to this bed?" So that's that bed. I know that I'm in trouble. That it's overtaken with weeds when he realizes it. The deer have just mowed down the roses over and over, and I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I don't know if I'm just going to get rid of roses or what, but it's been quite discouraging this year how they just mowed them down all the time. But this Miss Huff lantana, it's as big as a Volkswagen. Well, Volkswagen Beetle. It's huge, and the butterflies love it. There is the pot, and the dirt is in there somewhere covered up. It never has gotten the dirt in it, but y'all, wow, it's just not possible to do it all, even when I think I can. This is the moon flower vine, and it is yet to bloom. It's been there long enough to bloom, I think, and it hasn't bloomed. Lavender is still poking through the weeds. There are roses in there too somewhere, and I'm not sure if I'm keeping them. But Miss Huff lantana is looking good. So I guess it's, assessing what does easy without much work. The dahlias are still hanging on. And y'all, it's supposed to be like 98 today and tomorrow, a really, really hot couple of days. And it's kind of like the weather that tries men's souls. They've been watered pretty much every day, and they're still green, and I really, really need to fertilize. Maybe I'll get that done in the morning. It's always tomorrow. It sounds like Scarlet and Gone with the Wind. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll think about it tomorrow. This bed has been beautiful. I have enjoyed it so much. The celosia that came up volunteer. It's really pretty. I probably should save seed. I've dried several bunches of them, and it's still going. The basil, looks like a lot of pesto could be made, doesn't it? There's all the, and there, that's basil, and I will. The zinnias, every time I come out here and think, oh, I'll just pull them up, then there's a few blooms on them, and so I leave them. I'm not good at turnover. But here is, look at that bell pepper. It's huge, and I've picked several. Wow. I used to grow other kinds of peppers and no bell peppers, and then one year a friend of mine, well, she used to be a friend, but then she blocked me because I was of my political views. But anyway, she did give me one thing. She told me to grow bell peppers in the garden and that they were better than store-bought, and she was right. And you know, she had hung around. I was right with my political views too, so I'm gonna leave that alone. Here is pomegranate. It's looking pretty good. It gets killed back, seems like every year with the freeze. And this is my fig tree row. I'm just hoping that they, I don't know if I'm going to leave them there or move them somewhere else. This one right here has a few figs on it, but it seems like everybody around here can grow huge fig trees if they're really old, and I don't know how many fig trees I've tried to grow, and I had 2 at one time that were huge, and then they just died. So haven't been able to do much yet since then. All right, here's the dahlias that I should have gotten to, but I'll get there in a minute. Here's coleus. That's a volunteer. Isn't it beautiful? I love that color. And here's more basil over here. As you can tell, every basil seed I planted came up, and I just planted them everywhere. This is lemon verbena. That's beautiful and smells so good. And pineapple sage. It will bloom red, and the hummingbirds love it. There's Cecil Bruner. Here is Sweet Annie. It's in Artemisia. It's good for drying, and it makes beautiful wreaths. It smells really good. Sometimes I can stand the smell because it's pretty pungent, and sometimes it is not. It aggravates me. So kind of allergy kind of thing. But here's a few dahlias. Not a lot right now. There's breakout still. Oh my goodness. One of the most beautiful. Gets attention. It's a great one too. I see some little bees, butterflies. This is a good one. I picked a lot yesterday, but I left this one out here blooming. It's really nice. And as y'all know, I don't know the name, but one day I'll figure it out. Maybe. And I'm fixing to walk into a spider web, so I need something to get rid of it. Those awful Joro spiders are everywhere now. They give me the heebie-jeebies when I run into them. So anyway, okay, that one's down. I better carry a stick with me as I walk. I'm sorry. Okay, here's that row. See, not much blooming. This row, not much blooming. That's Cafe Olay. It's got buds. I picked quite a bit yesterday because it was going to be so hot, and I want them to not be stressed. This one right here is Orange Globe, and it's one of the best ones in my garden. So, looks like I need to pick off some buds to keep them going. And another side note, see up there, the grass still looks really pretty, but the lawnmower, Brian got a new lawnmower a month or so ago, and it didn't have a mulching kit on it, so it's been spraying grass everywhere. So they picked it up last week to put the mulching kit on it, and it's been gone for about more than a week, something like a week or 10 days. So he didn't get to mow yesterday. He'll mow Saturday, and then football season starts next week. So anyway, That's what it looks like up there. And hot, hot, hot. You know, I shouldn't be surprised that it's hot here in Georgia in August. Because every year it is. Every year. But here's my messy garden. It is certainly not perfection. It is way more messy than I want it to be. But hopefully next week it's going to be cooler. And maybe we'll get some rain. Isn't that right, Teeny? And then we'll go from there. At least there's no buzzards in the dead tree this morning. Well, this is Mona. I hope you have a good weekend from Winterpast.